couple of maybe questions if that helps you. So we have questions. I mean, chances are I might not ask any of them. Okay? But just to like give you a context in terms of what we could talk about. I ideally don't want to talk about Pocket Aces journey. The reason being you've spoken about it a lot of times. Is there anything that you've spoken about before that you don't want to talk about? Because I don't want to repeat conversations.
What is the worst thing about working with creators?
Yeah, please tell us.
Want me to answer
Yeah,
that?
please do. Because we really want. Couple of maybe questions if that helps you. So we have questions. I mean, chances are I might not ask any of them. Okay? But just to like give you a context in terms of what we could talk about. I ideally don't want to talk about Pocket Aces journey. The reason being you've spoken about it a lot of times. Is there anything that you've spoken about before that you don't want to talk about? Because I don't want to repeat conversations.
What is the worst thing about working with creators?
Yeah, please tell us.
Want me to answer
Yeah,
that?
please do. This is also being captured, so we understand.
Which you're gonna edit it out.
No, we keep it. Everything is this entire thing will be there.
Are you serious?
Yeah. When you're saying, "Are you serious?" That's also being recorded. No edit happens on the edit board. It's just raw as it is.
Is it just to make your process easier? Or to
Partly
embarrass
yes.
your guests?
Partly
or both?
yes. No, it's not. It's not about embarrassing. It's just that it becomes very raw. I mean, we'll cut out a few parts. We might not cut out this one.
If I ramble on, then you will.
Yeah,
Cut it
maybe.
out.
We'll see. That's our sort of internal discussion whether we want to cut it, keep it, or whatever. But we've seen that the conversations that are raw work really well for us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Makes sense. I think audience also wants to see what's authentic. So
BTS also works a lot
Yeah.
for us in terms of content. Anyway, welcome to the Chill Hour, guys. Today we have the founder of Pocket Aces, Aditi Shrivastava on the show. Aditi, welcome on the show. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much for having me. Good. Feeling good this morning.
Good morning. Did you have coffee?
Tea. I'm a chai person.
अरे lovely, बहुत finally कोई हमारी तरह मिला जो चाय पसंद. How long have you been drinking tea for?
Actually started as a kid during train journeys.
हाँ
Summer vacations में हम आते थे इंडिया और बॉम्बे से कानपुर.
हाँ.
That's like almost 24 hours.
Okay.
Train ride होता था.
हाँ.
And then कुल्हड़ वाली चाय
Oh, lovely.
से 2-3 सिप मिलता था even as a kid.
Yeah.
So that's how my love for chai started with the
हाँ.
कुल्हड़ वाली chai. And
This was when?
it's
This was which year? Way back.
mid-90s,
Yeah.
early 90s.
Lovely.
And it's basically been going on since then. I love chai. Lots of adrak, less
हाँ.
milk.
Less milk.
Yeah. And I love all kinds of chai. You give me like any random chai.
What are the
from
kinds of
different
chai?
parts the world. Matlab, I'm no connoisseur or anything,
It's okay, but-
the rarest some stuff that I've tried is mulberry tea.
Okay.
Very nice.
Okay.
I think rose tea everybody has tried by
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Various kinds of jasmine, that, you know, the white rose, the
Yeah.
needle,
Yeah.
and the flowering teas where you just put in those little balls and then they
Oh.
open up inside your
Interesting.
cup. Beautiful. So all kinds of tea. My favorite tea places is in New York.
Okay.
It's called Alice's Tea Cup.
Okay.
75 teas on the menu.
75.
Yeah. So one of my favorite like hangout things to do, I sound either like a little girl or like an old auntie when I say this, is high tea.
Yeah.
So you go, you have those tiered,
Yeah.
you know, the cakes and little sandwiches and stuff, and
Yeah.
teapots, those pretty teapots.
It works very well for Instagram.
Yes, and for my, it's like therapy.
Therapy.
Yeah.
Amazing. How was childhood? How was growing up?
Childhood was actually great fun. So we have a joke running in my family where my dad, once he came to know that we have fond memories of our childhood overall, he keeps telling us to rate different parts of our childhood from 1 to 10, which is, I know it's like a really weird thing to do, but my dad is just weird like
Anyway,
that. So it's, I grew up in Kuwait.
Okay.
So my family moved there when I was just about 4. And before the first Gulf War. So I have memories of the war as well, and our escape from Kuwait, which was we drove to Baghdad, which is just such a weird thing when you think about it, like you're driving into the invading country.
Wow.
So we drove to Baghdad because India and Iraq had like good trading relationships, and so they were being nice to Indians, and we flew from Baghdad to Bombay. So I have that memory also as a
Wow.
very strong memory in my mind. But then after about 8 months in Bombay, we went back to Kuwait. And then the childhood there was protected, and so it was liberating. So it's, I know these are like, it's a very
Contrasting words.
contrasting words, but when there is no alcohol and no fear of drugs and this and that, your parents can let you do a lot more things. And
Makes sense.
it was a very pure childhood in that sense. So when you're hanging out with friends, you're going into a movie or you're hanging out at their house. Yeah, coffee shops वगैरह भी बहुत कम थे उस time. See, Kuwait is very different from Dubai. It's they don't encourage tourism and this and that. So it's a very small country. It's a very rich country, and it's very, very safe. You can wear whatever you can wear here, over there. It's been very liberal for women for a long time, and so it was a very pure, nice childhood doing like kids things.
Okay.
So house parties, malls,
Okay.
movie theaters,
Uh-huh.
family friends. So very close group of family friends. I was much closer to them than I was to my relatives growing up. Now that I'm here, of course, I'm much more close to my extended family.
Right.
But so like really fond memories performing on stage a lot. So
What were you performing? क्या
I've
perform
learned
कर रहे थे?
dance my entire life.
Any form of dance, or it's just
So
because
it
I do वो Ganpati dance.
I also do Ganpati dance.
For
Ganpati
you,
dance, Bharat dance.
for you, it's also. For me, it's only. There's a difference.
So I first performed on stage when I was 6.
Okay, school में.
No, it like a
Like a
we
building
had like
function or like a-
no, it was like a Indian cultural group festival
In
type
Kuwait.
thing in Kuwait.
Okay.
And I sang the song also, on which 5 of us girls performed.
Oh wow.
And so I sang the song and I performed. So that was my first thing.
Which song did you sing?
Is a song that my mom wrote. It's very random.
Oh, it was
And my
Hindi
mom is
song.
not a writer or anything like that.
But Hindi song.
No, it was an English song called The Welcome Dance.
Can you
So-
sing 2 lines if you remember?
Of course I remember, but I cannot know.
Please, 1 line.
No, I'm not gonna sing.
अरे यार यही तो fun है. Or if you can maybe if you remember the lines, just say the lines.
So basically it's a welcome dance. So this Indian arts group called the Children's Arts Group, CAG. It was just set
Oh
up.
wow.
And this was the first ever dance of the first ever function of this group.
Okay.
And it was the welcome dance where WELCOME, 7 girls were, each one, we were a letter.
Oh.
So the song was Here I Come Dancing, Dancing. Here I Come Dancing, Dancing. I am letter W. I have come to dance. I dance in the middle and then I run away.
Oh.
And then the next letter comes and then the next letter comes. So
Sweet.
I'm not going to sing it, but those were the
Please,
words.
if you can.
And so
कमेंट्स में
literally
लोग
it was
लिखेंगे
that.
दीपक अदिति को नहीं गवा पाया, ये लोग गाली वाली देंगे मेरे को.
Maybe a few minutes later.
Okay, okay, ठीक है, चलो.
थोड़ा
At
खुल
least
जाए
at
उसके
least
बाद.
दिलासा है. That much we are there कि हाँ ठीक है.
So that's when I started performing, and I realized I love the stage and I love performing. And so then, of course, school mein some debates kiya, plays kiya, this, that, but dance remains my first performing love. And I have performed a lot on stage. I have learned Kathak
nice.
in Kuwait. Then I have learned in college, I have learned ballet and modern dance as well. And I have also taken like belly dancing classes. I have taken salsa classes. वो तब तो हुआ ही है.
Right.
But yeah, so I think in some other plane, I would love to be just like a dancer for a living.
Wow.
Yeah, but now I just specialize in like club dancing. So वो सब छूट गया.
Interesting.
Practice सब छूट गई. So yeah.
What's that one thing that you used to enjoy as a child, but now you don't do it anymore? Apart from dancing, maybe.
I think pretend play.
Okay.
You do a lot of pretend play. I don't know if it's a girl
You
thing.
don't do it now?
Pretend play. कौन करता है अब? Time ही नहीं है. But yeah, so me and my sister is just a year and a half younger. So we were really close. And my niece does it now. So I maybe feel like it's a little girl thing. But you pretend, oh, this is your palace and you're this princess and you're doing this and you're doing that. And we used to play all these different, we are hotel managers or we are like pilots or like random stuff. So you could be whatever you wanted.
What kind of games did you play as a child?
We were huge into board games.
Okay.
Of all kinds. Also, like, I played basketball and badminton and throw ball in school. A lot of people say throw ball is not a real sport, but it is.
Yeah.
Ashwin always laughs. He's like, what is throw ball? There's nothing called throw ball, it's volleyball. And I'm like, no, there's... So,
Okay, Ashwin. Throw ball is a legit sport. Please do not put down this sport, okay?
So, because of dance, I think sport just also came naturally, but I never became very good at anything. Like, house teams I used to play, but never got to a school team level.
Which house were you in?
Truth House.
Truth House?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. This is like a rich school thing, I think.
Truth, Peace and Harmony. I went to DPS.
Of course,
I went to DPS in Kuwait, which Dhruv Sehgal was in the same school. Ani, my co-founder Ani, was also in the same school. So we went to DPS Kuwait and it was a very small school, 20 students to a section and 2 to 3 sections max.
That's it. So like 60
people. It was a
people,
great feeling, yeah. It was great.
Yeah?
Lot of attention, student-teacher ratio was really good, etc., etc. And so yeah, you felt special because किसी ना किसी क्लब में तो सिलेक्शन हो ही जाता था सबका क्योंकि इतने कम बच्चे थे
20 लोग में क्या ही
करेक्ट
किसको ही छोड़ोगे अगर तुम छूट गए तो तुम पहले कुछ कर लो जिंदगी में
exactly
किसी में भी अच्छे नहीं हो
so yeah that was the that's what we did in school.
I want to just quickly segue into your favorite songs that you listen to.
Maybe
yeah, it's a weird
segue. It's like tasting coffee in the middle of smelling perfume. It just
अभी
puts
जो
you into like some kind of reset.
अभी जो format है वो है ना अभी we read data and data tells us that these fun segments work well for us and I'm sure no better person than you to understand data when it comes to content. So our data says कि यार तुम थोड़ा fun segment और घुसाओ. So songs that you're listening to on loop. What's that one song?
Right now.
Don't tell me Obsessed.
Obsessed is awesome. I mean, this is the pure example of unplanned influencer campaign, isn't it? It's
for sure.
What a great video that was, and he was so chill.
It was amazing, and people tried to mimic Vicky Kaushal
but you can't. His swag is just
ended up becoming memes.
Yeah,
like, it's just so funny.
Exactly.
So what are you listening to
right now on repeat?
Yeah.
Chand Balia.
Okay.
And King. I love King.
Okay.
Yeah, all his stuff.
Amazing. What are your favorite movies?
Recent or like
Bollywood का
all
बताओ.
time? Bollywood recent.
Anything.
Recent
कुछ नहीं अच्छा लगा.
Bollywood all time बता दो.
पठान अच्छी नहीं लगी क्या?
I'm moving on. I will tell you. All time
जनता जवाब चाहती है.
यार, I love Shahrukh.
That's a great way of starting an answer when I ask about Pathan and then you directly go on to Shahrukh.
No, serious fangirl. Okay, serious fangirl. And by the way, Shahrukh, we did a video for Raees.
Okay.
And Nawaz was in that video. But we got a keep watching FilterCopy bite from Shahrukh.
Oh, lovely.
And we played it on loop in our office for like many months.
You should give it
It's in our sizzle reel.
You should give it to Yashraj. And he'll probably make a jingle out of it.
Exactly.
He'll also monetize. He'll also get your content.
But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that genre of movies.
Again, very diplomatic.
I also love Deepika, by the way.
Okay.
But I just... I don't know. It was not like one of my favorites. Let's just put it that way. So if you ask a question, what is your favorite Bollywood movie? It does not feature. And I think even Shahrukh will agree to
हमें
that.
कंटेंट भी तो चाहिए. Let Shahrukh agree or disagree. It's okay. We'll whenever we get him on the show, we'll
Soon,
maybe
inshallah. Yeah.
for sure. So, yeah.
All-time favorite Bollywood movie.
That one movie that you keep going back to. Let's rephrase the question. That I have a lot. How come you don't have?
Yeah, I have, but I have to make myself sound like
No.
less than like one sucker for like stupid movies.
Yeah, I believe movies, songs, all of these things are a personal choice. I mean, I might find ghazals to be very soothing.
I love
for
ghazals.
Yeah, so for
Love,
you,
love.
it could be rock music, for example,
Yeah.
right? So it's such a personal choice.
Yeah. No. Like ghazals
So
or
what are the
Sufi
movies
songs,
that you
etc.
find
are
cringe?
amazing. Wait, let me think. Oh gosh. Movies, yeah, I'm like blanking out. Movies that I find cringe.
Okay, I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you. I'm not talking about cringe. So that it eases out for you. Cringe ka we'll get to later because I don't want to give content. It's you who has to give content, not me. और हाँ, favorite movies में one of my all-time favorites is ये जवानी है दीवानी.
Yeah.
All-time favorites. I can go back to it any time of the day, any time of the week, and just watch it again. And in that genre, so Dil Dhadakne Do, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara,
I
3 Idiots.
love, yes.
So
Okay.
that genre is one of like my favorite genre that I can go back to it any point in time and watch it.
See, I'll answer this question in a slightly different manner. I'll tell you the movies I've watched more than 20 times.
Okay.
I'll tell you that, right? Yeah, counted. Dil Dhadakne Do,
Okay.
Kuch Kuch Hota Hai,
Oh, lovely.
DDLJ,
हाँ.
Kal Ho Na Ho.
DDLJ तो 20 साल लगी ही थी. 20 साल में भी एक बार देख लोगे तो.
मराठा में एक भी बार नहीं देखी है.
हाँ.
एक भी बार नहीं देखी. Most of DDLJ viewing has happened on VHS. जो वो खराब हो गया टेप उसके बाद. Like literally it stopped
बोल रहा
working
है
properly.
बंद कर दे बहन. क्या करें?
Exactly.
कितनी बार देखी?
So it's a very similar genre.
Yeah.
Kal Ho Na Ho, even though
You're not
I
a fan?
don't think that I like Kal Ho Na Ho as a movie, but it was a weird comfort phase in college. Because
Yeah.
of a weird, I don't know what it was, but yeah. So those are the movies that I've watched 20 or more times. So most recently that has been Dil Dhadakne Do. Which I mean, Zoya Akhtar is just an amazing creator.
For
I
sure,
feel.
for sure.
And so those are the ones. So I think that answers your question. So how much of a smart I'm trying to sound, I'm just telling you that I've watched these more than 20 times. So it has to mean something.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so for me and Ashwin, like one of our favorite like weeknight activities. So हम क्या करते हैं?
Weeknight. This is
Like-
interesting. Weeknight.
Yeah, weeknight activities like when you're staying home, you will गद्दा ले आते हैं
हाँ.
ड्राइंग रूम में
हाँ.
एंड ड्राइंग रूम में गद्दा डाल के
हाँ.
ऑर्डर होता है पिज्जा हट.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm telling you stuff I've never ever spoken in public.
Please do.
Okay?
We don't want. Okay, just a disclaimer. We don't want it to be another repetitive podcast.
Yes.
We want you to share something that you've never shared, maybe in interviews or articles or podcasts
Yeah,
or
this
whatever.
stuff I don't think even friends know.
Please bring it out.
So गद्दा आता है,
हाँ.
पिज्जा हट ऑर्डर होता है. बेस्ट पिज्जा इन द वर्ल्ड, पिज्जा हट.
कौन सा पिज्जा खाते हो?
I eat the
नॉन-वेज हो वेज हो?
नहीं, I am non-veg but पिज्जा में वेज.
अच्छा.
पिज्जा में
I like
it's a very
clarity.
weird thing.
I like-
पिज्जा में full veg.
I like how clear
And
you are.
जितने आप उस पे not exotic veggies but normal, so that you know that farmer pizza type is
अच्छा.
और पनीर type of pizza.
हाँ.
My favorite toppings are olives.
पाइनएप्पल पसंद है क्या?
यार like normal pizza.
Editor साहब, please zoom in. When you
I
say,
thought you were not gonna edit anything. No.
zoom in, zoom out तो होगा ही.
Yeah, but like Ashwin will order like that cheese crust and all. For me,
Yeah.
it's like that pan pizza, regular thick pan pizza with like normal veggies like olives, whatever your onions and like green peppers and normal stuff, nothing exotic.
Okay.
And for him, it's like mushroom के ऊपर mushroom के ऊपर mushroom और
Oh.
cheese के ऊपर cheese के ऊपर cheese. तो हमारे अलग पिज्जा आते हैं.
I think I'll vibe with Ashwin more.
Maybe. And our puppy and
Yeah.
us and one of
What's
these
his or her? What's an
Grubby. It's a Shih Tzu,
grubby?
3-year-old Shih Tzu,
Oh,
Grubby,
lovely. Yeah.
who is my like.
So pizza, gadda, and a movie
Puppy.
and Puppy
Exactly. And ऐसी वाली movies.
and ऐसे
जो
वाली movies.
देख के इतनी हंसी आती है, but you're also like, ये what is this crap? But you're laughing, and in those 2 hours you just forget like all your stress, you forget everything.
That brings me to another interesting question. Since you run a media company,
Yeah.
which has FilterCopy, Dice Media, Gobble, Nutshell, am I missing out on something?
You said nutshell, so no, you're not missing out
I'm
on anything.
missing out on nothing.
Yeah. Clout.
Clout. So now that you're running a full-fledged media company, do you pick content from anything and everything you watch, or maybe say you're watching a movie, for example, and you see that okay, this is working well on say Netflix or any OTT platform.
Yeah.
Let's do something like this in our company as well. So how do you scout for ideas? So because FilterCopy has a lot of relatable content.
Yeah.
Say brothers and sisters. Adulting was fantastic, by the way. And Little Things was fantastic, by the way. Dhruv and Mithila, the great duo, did wonderfully well.
You and Dhruv look very similar. I'm sure everybody has told you that.
I was about to get there. I was about to get there. Shit.
You like the same genre of looks.
I was just about to get there that, you know, when you mentioned Dhruv earlier, I was holding back. I was like, nahin, I'll bring this up,
I was also
maybe
holding
later.
back.
But then I was like, shit. And now that you mentioned, do we really look similar?
Very similar. I mean, obviously there are differences.
I'm sure, but
very, very similar, yaar.
What are you saying?
Baal, Dari, Chashma, have you guys met?
We've not.
You guys need to meet and hang out. Get him on the
Please
podcast.
Yeah. Connect me to Dhruv.
It'll be like Ram Sham podcast.
Please connect me to Dhruv. Let's. I really want to have a
Dhruv.
doppelganger podcast. Doppelganger, Deepak and Dhruv.
Yeah.
This sounds fun. 3D podcast.
And you know the funniest thing, which is really random that I'm saying it right now,
Please do.
is I have a friend called Dhruv Deepak. One of our closest friends, जिसकी शादी हो रही है अक्टूबर में, जो हम लोग जा रहे हैं US उसकी शादी के लिए. But yes, his name is Dhruv Deepak.
His name is Dhruv Deepak.
Yes.
So now Dhruv will remind you of Dhruv Cycle. Deepak will remind you of Deepak Pareek. Fantastic. Wow. Dhruv, if you're listening, when are we shooting an episode? Anyway, so getting back to the question, ऐसे बहुत हम digress कर जाते हैं.
Yeah.
So now that you're running a media company, when you watch a lot of content yourself, when you watch a lot of movies, and how do you crack that, okay, this is something that will work as a content piece, that will generate views and will also be appreciated by the audience so much at the same time? Because views does not always equal appreciation. Appreciation is what I mean, where people appreciate, okay, yaar, some movies or some content does not get you those views. Like when, as a creator, when I put out content, I spend so much time on something and that tanks. Whereas I just put out SE randomly and that works like wonders.
Yeah.
So how do you scout your content in terms of gauging views and engagement and appreciation more often?
Yeah. See, it's evolved over a period of time. जब हम start कर रहे थे, so the reason why we wanted to start was because we felt कि there was not enough content for people like us, right? In India, TV was catering to older audience, mainly older female, etc.
Right.
Male के लिए you have sports or news for older male audience, and youth
कुछ और
के
क्यों
नाम
नहीं
पे
देखते हैं?
you have
Why
like.
do men don't watch anything else?
But now they do.
Now they do,
But
yeah.
मैं है तो देखेंगे ना, अभी
हाँ.
supply नहीं है तो फिर मतलब you
Correct.
don't even know what to demand for, right?
Correct.
So, and youth के नाम पे there was just the MTV small roster of content that was there, right? And
Channel V, MTV and all those things.
exactly. I mean, we grew up on Channel V.
Yeah.
But by the time we got to India, which was around 2011, and we started living here, that Channel V was almost kind of also, kind of going away. And MTV had the, two main big IPs that they have, where Roadies and Splitsvilla, etc. And so, initially, it was like, हम जैसे लोगों के लिए US में कितना content था, because obviously we are the Netflix DVD generation, and even US TV is great, right, for youth as well.
Correct.
Right, but
such iconic shows that US has.
Exactly, but यहाँ पे नहीं था. So initially it was a very inward focused kind of content picking thing कि हमें जैसा content पसंद है वैसा हम जैसे दूसरे लोगों को content पसंद आएगा. Who are right now only watching international content और India में कुछ नहीं है देखने के लिए. So let us create Indian content for people like us.
Got it.
Obviously, whenever you start something, it's a very personal
Correct.
demand and a personal mission
Comes
to start
from
with.
a personal problem per se.
Absolutely.
Huh.
But then when you start scaling up and you realize कि obviously our country is vast, we all know this.
Correct.
And preferences humongously vary
Right.
in different type of people, right?
Right.
And I don't even mean demographic, because that, I think, classifying audience by gender and age and geography is a very old school thing to do. Now you classify audience by persona, interests, what they like to do. Like somebody exactly living, your neighbor who is the same age and also male might have completely different interests than you do
Absolutely,
in today's day and age, right?
absolutely.
So not demographic but personas and interests. So, you know, the first phase of Pocket Aces content is very much for people like us. It was more urban, it was more English, it was more not fit dekha hai.
No, not yet.
So our first ever show, Dice Media pays something called Not Fit, which is a
Okay.
mockumentary. And
Oh.
5 people watched it and 5 people became cult class fans.
Oh.
But that's also when we realized कि यार हमें satisfaction नहीं मिलता है जब तक thousands and millions of people नहीं देखते हैं.
Correct,
Because we
correct.
got lucky when we released Ban, which was our first ever video, which got like 1.5 million views in 2 days, which we absolutely were
This
not
is on
planning.
YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube Dice.
Okay.
Right? It was about the bans that were happening in the country at that time. वो तो meat ban तभी हुआ था. Alcohol का वो doble was here and that
Yeah. That
ban
time,
had
yeah.
happened, and then porn ban had happened also for some time. And so we made like a sarcastic, it was a satire about the bans that were happening, and it went insanely viral. And we were like, ye kya hua? Like we were not
Correct.
expecting that at all. And YouTube and mainly Facebook page went viral because of the sharing,
Correct,
which is such a
correct.
beautiful feature of the Facebook ecosystem that we have really used for our success, right? That viral feature of shareability
Right,
is
right.
what everything has been based on.
Yeah.
And उसके बाद जब हमने Not Fit बनाया, we were too early to do a mockumentary in India.
Right.
Okay, it was, and एक और mockumentary बनी उसी के 1 साल बाद, Better Life Foundation.
I
I'm
think I've
sure
seen
वो भी सिर्फ 10
glimpses of
लोगों
it.
ने ही देखी,
हाँ.
right? And the idea was that, okay, the audience is very different
Right.
from people like us only, and it is very myopic, and you'll only address this much audience versus like 400 million Indians who have smartphone and very cheap data, and
Right,
especially
right.
जब Jio आया तो completely, so audience expand हो गया, right? So then you really have to change the way you're selecting content. पहले आपको अच्छा लगा तो आपने बनाया.
correct.
But then you are actively saying कि no, we have to ask the audience for their preferences. We have to test. Because how do you ask the audience?
Correct,
मतलब
correct,
आप
correct.
road पे जाके vox pop तो नहीं कर रहे
हाँ,
हो, right?
correct.
We started doing phone calls and stuff to audience members for primary research. And
How did that go about?
very well, and we still use.
Were you the one calling?
All of us were calling and replying to comments. Was all of
What
us.
was the
Anirudh, Ashwin,
What was
me.
what was the one question that all of you asked?
What do you do with your time? See, design thinking. Now, you know, there's a nice term and a structure with which we do this, which is design thinking ka structure. There's a flair exercise, there's an empathy mapping exercise, blah, blah, blah. We can go into the theory of it.
Right.
But the crux of design thinking is that आप कोई direct और कोई leading questions नहीं पूछोगे. आप
Okay.
ब्रॉड क्वेश्चंस पूछोगे जो आपको इनसाइट्स देंगे जो आप अपने प्रोडक्ट बनाने में यूज करोगे.
Got it.
लेकिन उस बंदे को नहीं पता है कि आप क्यों पूछ रहे हो या आप
Correct,
क्या
correct,
प्रोडक्ट
correct.
बनाने वाले हो या कुछ. व्हाट डू यू डू विथ योर टाइम? ओके, आप कौन से, मतलब आप फोन पे कितना टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं. एंड अगेन डोंट फॉरगेट दिस इज अर्ली डेज, तो इट वाज
Right,
नॉट
right,
लाइक
right,
वी
right.
नो दैट पीपल आर स्पेंडिंग ऑल देयर टाइम सर्फिंग देयर फोन्स.
Right, right.
The key insight we got was that YouTube सबके पास था. Facebook was just like building up in India, and WhatsApp सबके पास था.
Correct.
लेकिन basically scroll करते रहो, relevant content नहीं था. तो that is where the key insight came कि यार हम bored हैं. वी आर बोर्ड, हमारे पास टाइम बहुत है लेकिन देखने को बहुत कम चीजें हैं, सब देख चुके. This was this very weird content problem that today you can't even imagine sab dekh chuke, because it seems like an infinite supply.
Right.
Which is why today we feel that our first mission is accomplished. Not just us, but us, our peers and the entire ecosystem. Itna content out there hai ki boredom solve ho chuka hai.
For sure.
There's always something to watch which is new, which you haven't seen before. Explore tab पे चले जाओ अगर बाकी सब कर चुके हो. Right?
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But so it very much started with inward looking. हमें कैसी चीजें अच्छी लगती हैं.
Correct, correct.
And then you realize वो सिर्फ 5 दूसरे लोगों को अच्छी लगती हैं इस देश में.
Yeah.
And then you went completely outward and said we will not judge. But we will apply one filter कि हमें regressive content नहीं करना है. So that was the one filter we will apply. So of course there are people जिनको whatever, you know, like chauvinist jokes अच्छे लगते हैं. Of course there's a huge audience for that और वो चलता भी है काम.
Correct.
सास बहू सीरियल के लिए भी huge audience है, and that is very non-feminist in a very ulta way according to me.
Right.
But वो हम नहीं करेंगे. So the only filter we applied is that हम पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन में कंटेंट को पुश करेंगे, लोगों की थिंकिंग को पुश करेंगे. एंड ये एक्चुअली एक बहुत अर्ली थॉट है जो हमने कभी आर्टिकुलेट नहीं किया, जो अब जाके हमारे मिशन में आर्टिकुलेट हुआ है कि यार 50 मिलियन पीपल को आप रीच कर रहे हो वीकली, बहुत पावर है. तो उसके साथ एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी आती है. आप यूथ को, मतलब हम सब अपनी कंट्री के बारे में कंप्लेन करते हैं और हम क्या ही, इट्स नॉट लाइक वी आर गोइंग एंड क्लीनिंग द बीचेस, but we are bitching about the beaches. Right. And so in your own way, what is the positive impact you can create? You can influence people's mindsets in a way that pushes them towards, you know, doing good, right? And thinking progressively. And that is the power of a media company. So वो एक filter था जो अब एक mission बन गया है. So that's how it evolved, right? And this thing where we do, अब हमने उसको एक ऑडियंस इंसाइट्स कमिटी का नाम दिया है जो फोन करते हैं लोगों को. एवरी क्वार्टर वी डू दीज कॉल्स, एवरी टाइम वी लॉन्च अ न्यू प्रोडक्ट वी डू दीज कॉल्स. सो राइट नाउ वी डिड इट फॉर नटशेल व्हेन वी वर लॉन्चिंग नटशेल. वी आर डूइंग इट फॉर दिस न्यू चैनल वी एक्वायर्ड नाउ कॉल्ड पॉकेट चेंज. सो वो अभी तक चल रहा है. एंड द टेस्टिंग at scale, because you can only talk to like 100 people. Right. But the testing at scale happens with short form content like memes and stuff.
Right.
तो आपको एक idea seed करना है या test करना है. You put out stuff that doesn't cost much money. You put out stories, you put out memes, you put out even a 3-4 minute video, or you'll put out a poll. There are so many ways we have, and we've built a whole database. We have a 30,000 database of growing of audience members जिनके पास जिनका हमारे पास सारा information है. फ़ोन नंबर, अगर email यूज़ करते हैं तो email, name, age, कहाँ रहते हैं, like all the socio-economic household income, this, that, all info. So any detailed surveys we need to run, we follow the small testing up with a detailed survey, and we pay for those surveys. Like if you complete it, you get paid.
Oh,
and so I think testing and data is a huge part of our DNA, because in a way that's our training and our DNA. But also hits driven business नहीं बनाना है जो 50% flop or 50% hit के chances हो.
Right.
Because then the only way that you can guarantee a hit is that you put some big face and stuff into it. And वो पैसा कभी था नहीं और अभी भी नहीं है.
Correct.
Right? So, and recently things will show you कि even big face does not guarantee anything.
Of course.
Right? So, obviously now we are in a great space for content where content has become king. But still, right? Like for your buyer, like OTT platforms वगैरह के लिए still faces, packaging, all of this stuff counts. तो audience के लिए कुछ और matter करता है, आपके buyer के लिए कुछ और matter करता है.
Correct.
So, at this point in our life where we are sizable company creating lots of content and catering to different stakeholders, obviously audience is the my bap stakeholder. Then you have brands, you have OTT platforms. So ये सारे stakeholders को balance करके content बनाना पड़ता है because you need to make money also.
Right.
And at this point, any content that we put out directly to our audience is not paying us. But a brand is paying us or a platform is paying us. So at the end of the day, you have to cater to that buyer also.
Interesting. Relatability quotient becomes high when you create shows like, say, adulting.
Yeah.
Or say little things.
Yeah.
So when you were brainstorming on those kind of shows, where was the initial seed sown in terms of that idea? कि वो idea आया कहाँ से? In terms of adulting, because daily problems है, right? But that idea takes time to sort of convert it into a show, maybe show nuances that okay, you're growing up, you have bills to pay and all those things. So how did that idea come about in terms of these relatable shows?
Yeah. So I think it's a very natural kind of transition from the last thing we were talking about. So when you talk to these audience, the key thing you get from them is they want to see people like themselves on screen.
Right. बिल्कुल, 100%.
तो वो जो एक relatability वाला aspect है, that didn't come by chance. That is something that people said that they want. And also see early days में we looked around कि US में क्या चल रहा है, China में क्या चल रहा है. These were the two big content markets that were coming up, and the US is obviously very sophisticated. So in the initial days, and especially for short form, BuzzFeed was a big inspiration for us, right? And if you look at BuzzFeed content, again, it's very similar, right? Relatable day-to-day stuff. And this idea of how do you get your content to people? Because see, distribution is very important.
Right. Of course.
Again, if you start decoding how organic distribution happens. Again, मैं थोड़ा roundabout answer दे रही हूँ, but this is actually how we got to this point. Is that organic distribution तब होता है जब लोग कुछ चीज को share करते हैं. तो फिर आप पूछो तो लोग क्यों share करते हैं?
Correct.
Now 2-3 reasons के वजह से लोग share करते हैं. One is like super awe वाला content, जैसे आप kitten and puppy content उस reason की वजह से share होता है, right?
Okay.
Not emotion, एक specific emotion, like awe वाला emotion जो होता है, like too cute, like you want to share it with your partner, you want to share it with your friends or whatever, right?
Got it.
The other one is like stupid humor, like pineapple pen याद है?
Yeah.
वो जो गाना आया था,
Yeah.
You know, I have a I forget what it was now. I have a pen, I have a pineapple pen. वो that kind of absurd humor.
अब तो गा सकते हो आप, हैं?
So if you look at one of our actually FilterCopy faces, who's also a creator in his own right, Manish Khadage.
Yeah.
उसका देखा है videos.
I have seen. I have loved his videos very. He's done a bowler imitation also.
Not just a bowler imitation, like he'll just stand and he'll just move his body in this weird way, and I have learned this from him. Okay, कि how to do it. And इतना पागल content है उसका, लेकिन it is so de-stressing. So that kind of content is just called absurd, stupid humor. That is the other thing people share.
Okay.
Because they are like, I wasted my time, you also waste your time. Like literally it's that emotion of sharing.
Right.
And the third one is, oh, this is somebody like me. Okay. And they'll tag you if it is somebody like you, that I know that Deepak is like this, he's my friend, I'm watching on screen somebody exactly like Deepak, I'll be like, Deepak, this is you, I'll tag you, or I'll share it with you.
Got it.
And if I identify, say I am an older sibling, if you make a video on older siblings, that is when the listicle format is beautiful, because listicle में क्या होता है, you make a video on older siblings, आप मुझे 10 point दोगे, 10 के 10 से तो मैं relate नहीं करने वाली, लेकिन at least 3-4 से तो मैं relate करूँगी.
For sure.
That's enough fodder for me to share, be like, all older siblings are like that. So that is some identity that I relate to. Like, I wear contact lenses. You make a video about people wearing contact lenses, 100% you will hit 2-3 emotions of mine. Or whatever, like I'm a loud person. तो loud person के अपने struggles होते हैं. Right? मम्मी पापा हमेशा सोचते हैं कि आप back answer कर रहे हो, और like रिपोर्टी हमेशा सोचता है कि क्यों चिल्ला रहे हो. Like, you know, so
makes sense.
Basically, like, so all of these things that form a part of my identity, I will share. right? And so that is the third very, very strong reason why people share. Fourth reason why people share is anger. And fifth, to sound smart.
Okay.
Okay, so nutshell is exactly the fifth one,
To
right?
sound smart.
We are making people smart 1 minute at a time, and that's why they share that content. So then we started making these videos, right? तो young people का क्या problem है? Like adulting के बारे में आप बात कर रहे हो कि यार मतलब you started living alone for the first time, bills pay करने होते हैं, घर में जो दीदी आती है उनको मैनेज करना होता है, like supplies करने होते हैं, ये वो biggest insight कि मंथ के 25th को पैसा खत्म हो जाता है.
Correct.
Right? All of these insights. तो
Yeah.
पहले इसके बारे में short form content बना. For every web series that we have done, I can give you 5 short videos that were made before that web series to find different tropes that were then used in that web series directly. Same for Little
Beautiful.
Things, same for Operation MBBS, same for What the Folks, same for Brochara, same for Ghar Vapsi, same for literally any show that we have made. So the idea has been कि हम short form करेंगे.
That's how
on
you
these
test out
relatable-
content. कि
Absolutely.
short form डाल के देखते हैं because it's snackable. People will watch it eventually, and then basis feedback that you get on that
Exactly.
piece of content, maybe you can think of collating all of those things, all of those data, and then
Exactly.
making something.
These are the tropes, literally.
Yeah.
And you know, कभी-कभी writers को उतना अच्छा नहीं लगता लॉन्ग फॉर्म राइटर्स को. अगर आप बोलते हो कि ये 5 ट्रोप है, इनको डेफिनेटली यूज करना है, दे आर लाइक नहीं मुझे तो अपना इमेजिनेशन यूज करना है. यू लाइक प्लीज यूज योर इमेजिनेशन, लेकिन आई नो
But
दीस
these are the
5
content
ट्रोप्स आर
pillars.
ट्राइड एंड
Yeah,
टेस्टेड, तो
yeah.
प्लीज इनको यूज करना है. एंड आई थिंक नाउ पीपल आर गेटिंग more comfortable with this idea. Also, I think stakes are high for long form creators,
Right,
because there
right.
is a lot of content coming out. It's not like पहले हर series आप देख सकते थे क्योंकि volume was low, but
Correct,
now volume
correct.
is very high. So if you want your series to like achieve escape velocity, it better stand out with something extremely relatable, or with its packaging, or with XYZ
Just
things.
emotions in terms of like different emotions in terms
Absolutely. So Ghar Vapsi is like a really good example of this, because the whole idea of going back to your hometown, हमने उसके बहुत वीडियो FilterCopy पे किए हैं. And that was the initial thought process, and then we built around why will you go back to your hometown, and sorry, job lose karne wala again.
Right,
You know,
right,
in the
right.
whole, actually the whole layoff cycle started after that, but it was already happening a little bit, right, with COVID. And so that whole thing, and then जब आप घर पे आते हो तो fish out of water. So a lot of the घर वाले and family tropes have been tested in parent videos on FilterCopy, and actually a lot of them have been used in What the Folks. And now you are basically taking them, reusing them in a different way in Ghar Vapsi. And the sibling trope, again,
Sibling is fantastic, like
Right?
because it's very relatable with a lot of
exactly.
people.
So the whole idea is that how do you collect the emotions that people are feeling today and reflect that in the
Got it.
content and push it slightly more ahead. Encouraging people to do slightly something without being preachy and without
Right,
being
right. Without being
वो एक बहुत
salesy that way.
एक subliminal impact आप create कर सकते हो with content. I truly believe that.
This gives me so much insight into content, because now as a creator, we try a lot of content in terms of, okay, this might work for the audience. There are things that we as creators do कि चलो ठीक है, this is something that is my strong suit, let's just do something like that.
Yeah.
ठीक है, करते हैं, let's see if it works. Maybe we do a bunch of things, then we understand, okay, this is what the audience wants now.
Yeah.
Now audience wants this, audience के लिए ये करते हैं.
Correct.
So
ये
now,
one for you and one for me वाला जो approach होता है ना.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what we're talking about.
because I'm of the firm belief that because content is so nascent in our country, still very nascent in our country, you do it for the passion of it.
Yeah.
And once you start making business out of it, you can't lose your craft.
Absolutely.
You should not lose your craft. So you should do certain things that makes you happy,
Yeah.
which was primarily the reason why you started.
Correct.
There was no other reason why you started apart from your love and your passion for making videos and maybe coming in front of the camera,
Correct.
doing comedy or singing or dancing or whatever. Dancing se yaad hai, which kind of reels do you find cringe?
यार मुझे ना सेक्सिस्ट चीजें बिल्कुल नहीं पसंद है. आई फाइंड
चलो,
देम
ठीक है.
एब्सोल्युटली क्रिंज.
हाँ.
एंड आई एम नॉट सेइंग दिस
Yeah,
जस्ट
yeah.
फॉर सेइंग इट. वेरी क्रिंज. एंड व्हाट एल्स? Absurd humor मुझे बहुत पसंद
I
है.
like how you just quickly moved on to the different topic.
Absurd humor I don't find cringe.
हाँ.
What else do I find cringe?
हाँ. How long do you spend?
Preachy stuff. I hate preachy stuff. Because I'm one of those people, तुम मुझे बोलो ये करना है तो like I will most probably not do it.
Okay, okay.
तो वो मेरे मम्मी पापा को भी पता है, right? कि उससे कुछ करवाना है तो force मत करो. Is a thing. So I think that preachy and sexist and you know all of that stuff, like वो मुझे वो cheap humor is not my style. And sometimes yeah it might be like oh you're high prude or you're high wound or whatever ठीक है आप जो भी बोल लो, लेकिन वो मेरा style ही नहीं है. And
how much time do you spend on reels on a daily basis? बताओ.
A lot. Like I'm constantly on the Insta Explore tab. It's too much. Actually, it's like unhealthy.
What does your feed show?
Yeah, very
What's
bad. Bollywood crap. Insta Bollywood. All of this. I'm a
Pink Villa.
I'm a sucker for ooh, what did this person wear that day?
Gossip.
And the funny thing is that my mom has like randomly also become like a huge Insta junkie. So she's, you know, the other day I went to, like a few months ago I went to a house and she was like, पता है कियारा और नहीं not कियारा, कटरीना और विकी को किस ने क्या क्या गिफ्ट दिया. And she knew the whole thing. And I was like, how did I miss this content? And she has found it. So yeah, it's a lot of it is filled about this kind of stuff. Then there's a lot of dog content.
Okay.
Matlab, me and Ashwin keep sharing a lot of dog content with each other, full of Shih Tzus basically. And the third thing, there's a lot of shopping because now I do a lot of Instagram say shopping. So a lot of these local brands, right? Like a lot of that. And fourth thing is there is yoga on my this thing because I am into yoga and I do a lot of that. So these are the four things.
I love
but
how clear you are.
Bollywood.
I love how clear you are in terms of a lot of things that okay, any other person who would have sat here would have just said कि हाँ ठीक है one thing and then moved on. But you're clear in terms of pointers कि हाँ dog content है, yoga content है, Bollywood content है.
Yeah, I think
what did I miss out on? One more? There were 4 points. Dog, shopping, yes.
Yeah. So that the vices are there and the loves are there. Both are there.
Interesting. Do you want to become an influencer? Or do you think...
You know what?
Do you want to become a creator? Chalo, influencer, so you are in a lot of ways. I mean, because you've rather not influencer, but I think in terms of inspiring a lot of people, you are a big inspiration in terms of say building a lot of things, women entrepreneurship and not-for-profit, social impact, a lot of things that you've done which inspires a lot of people out there to go out there and build. If Aditi can, why can't I? Right? So that mentality is always there. But do you want to become like a creator and create videos on the gram?
You know, honestly, it's really hard work.
Thank you so much for putting it out.
No, it's absolutely extremely... I mean, what you are doing is like a full production. This is obviously hard work, right? Yeah. But even making a reel regularly, that discipline that it requires is extremely hard. And trust me, I was trying to be regular.
Oh, really?
I was trying to put out a lot of yoga content that I did. I was trying to put out...
चलो वो process पे आ जाओ कि कैसे आपने shoot किया, क्या हुआ?
नहीं मैंने कुछ nothing. मतलब it was starting तो it was just static stuff.
Oh, okay,
right?
Like images.
Images, okay. And my workout and my yoga stuff is what I started with.
Okay.
And travel stuff. And then I realized कि it's damn hard यार. Videos पे तो मैं पहुंची ही नहीं because the discipline of putting it out, the frequency, and like I have seen influencers go from zero, like people like a Viraj go from literally 0 followers to where they are today. It's hard work, it requires a lot of discipline, and it really see, for me, when I open Instagram, 20% of my mind is working, like working.
Okay.
So then there's that part also यार कि मुझे like फिर काम कर रही हूँ मैं, वो मुझे काम जैसा लगने लगता है. So even when I'm traveling and all, तो now I've stopped putting anything. So I don't even put stories when I'm traveling. I don't do anything. I would rather
Why?
just stay away from my phone.
Okay.
So
Got it.
either I work, like if I'm working on travel, which I often do, then I'll work for like 2-3 hours in the morning. I'm a morning person. So before everybody wakes up.
What time
I
do you
want
get
to
up?
Normal, यहाँ Bombay में I wake
Bombay
up at
में.
7.
7 is
Not
decent.
too early or anything.
I thought 3:30 मैं बोला ये किधर
नहीं
सोते कब हो
यार
भाई?
देखो जब बाहर लाइट नहीं है ना,
हाँ.
that's just a crime. Like तब तो आप नहीं उठ सकते.
हाँ मतलब करेक्ट.
Yeah, but सबसे पहले, so it's relative. तो
Okay.
अगर vacation में we are leaving early for something and other people are waking up at 7, then I want to wake up at 5.
Got it.
देखो सबसे पहले ना, actually this comes from, now it's different. Now you live in nicer places with just your husband or whatever. So now those tensions are not there. But before, when you travel with friends and all, you want to be the first one using the bathroom.
Yeah,
You
true.
do not want to use the bathroom after your friends because you don't want to use wet bathroom, blah blah blah. So like there are a lot of reasons why you want to wake up early, and you want that start.
Yeah.
Chai,
Yeah.
your whatever.
Chai is here.
Yes, chai is here.
Please help yourself with the chai.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So you want to do those things before, and I'm a huge sucker for the feeling of achievement.
Okay.
Huge sucker. Like
Are
that's my
you
biggest
like
driver.
a productivity geek?
Yes.
You are?
So जो आप अगर 1 घंटा भी सुबह कुछ कर लो before other people wake up, ऐसा लगता है कि आप तोप आदमी हो. Like the feeling that you get is like, fuck, like I can rule this world, or at least that's the feeling I get.
Oh.
And that
It's
feeling
true, yeah.
is like huge adrenaline. So
got it.
even if you just sat and had a quiet morning, or you read something, or you worked out, or you worked, it feels awesome. Ki before the world woke up, I bloody like knocked off these things from my list or from my whatever. I did something for myself before other people could bother me. That feeling I'm a huge sucker for.
Got it. Can you share some of your creator stories, maybe if you have any, in terms of maybe working with creators or other? What's the worst thing about working with creators? Let me put it very clearly.
मरवाओगे तुम मतलब.
मरवाओगे? मैं खुद क्रिएटर हूँ. मरवाओगे क्या? मैं खुद का धंधा थोड़ी बंद करवा रहा हूँ.
See, I will answer your question in 2-3 different ways, okay? Again, from you, I will have 3 bullet points for everything. Okay, so, देखो, when I initially started...
एक सेकंड, उनको बोलो ना ट्रे दे देगा एक प्लीज. वो ट्रे मंगवा दो.
अच्छा, because I'm going in front of
Yeah, I'll just keep it here. It'll be easier. Yeah, carry on.
See, when I initially started working in this field itself, you must realize, like, I worked mostly with like left brain people, because finance, engineering,
Right,
whatever we were doing, and I was doing investment stuff in the social sector before
Right.
this.
Thank you.
Now starting to work with
Right.
creative people, right? So creator again is a broad term, but
Right,
creative people was a very different experience. So एक तो मतलब I think I had a lot to learn, and I think I had a lot to give also in terms of discipline, productivity.
ये तो
like
बहुत
that
serious
kind
answer
of
हो गया
stuff.
दीदी.
नहीं मैं आ रही
उनको
हूँ.
थोड़ा मसाला चाहिए.
दे रही हूँ.
Very simply.
दे रही हूँ. मैं आ रही हूँ. तो initially, for example, the very early FilterCopy writing team. So I don't know if you know, we had FilterCopy.com, which was a writing articles website, and like I remember like being like, तुम लोग क्यों नहीं आ सकते हो 10 बजे? Like क्यों नहीं आ सकते हो 10 बजे ऑफिस? And I lost that battle.
Okay.
And then I realized that, it's okay. Like I have to change because I am the new one to this field.
Right.
Our field starts at 11:30. People stroll in. मेरा इतना खून खौलता था ना पहले. I cannot tell you मेरा कितना, because at Goldman, if you came in even at 8:05, you were frowned upon.
So who comes in late to office now?
Everybody, including me also sometimes. वो एक बुरी आदत बहुत easily लगती है, right? So now I flip my day. तो मेरा सारा errands ये वो सब सुबह होता है. And then you're okay staying in the office till like 8:30. See, my problem with creative folks is often that आप वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस का कंप्लेन करते हो, लेकिन आप ऑफिस आओगे, फिर आपको नाश्ता करना है 11:30 बजे, फिर आप 1 घंटे के लिए काम करोगे, फिर आप खाना भी भूख भी बहुत जल्दी लगती है, एंड देन फिर क्रिएटिव थॉट्स के लिए आपको चाय और सुट्टा भी बहुत पीना पड़ता है. सो द थिंग इज लाइक द नंबर ऑफ आवर्स इन द डे एंड फिर आप बैठे रहते हो 9-10 बजे तक और फिर आप बोलते हो कि लाइफ वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस नहीं है. Right, so I think I have also come a long way being very okay with whatever it is and planning around it. And I think, of course, I appreciate that there is a very different process that it takes to create. But in the West, it's very, very different. Like writers' rooms work from 9 to 5. It is a discipline. You have to come and write something every day, right? So I think that we have brought in to Pocket Aces a lot. And short form has really helped with that.
Right.
Because जब आपके पास 1 साल होता है कुछ रिलीज करने के लिए, तो it's very difficult to have that discipline throughout the whole process, even though of course you break down the whole thing कि इतने महीने हम बीट्स कॉन्सेप्ट लिखेंगे, फिर बीट्स, फिर फर्स्ट ड्राफ्ट, फिर whatever.
Right.
लेकिन शॉर्ट फॉर्म में तो आपको लाइक वी आर रिलीजिंग 50% of content a day across our channels. And by content, I mean everything from like a static post to a story to like a 5-minute video to like a web series. Right?
Oh, nice.
तो जब आप इतना content release कर रहे हो, you have to be disciplined. So I think within Pocket Aces, we have brought this discipline. So we have come to a nice middle ground. So that's my like first problem, that the whole thing of timing and how to work and this and that was one whole big thing that I had. But I have also learned this is how this works, right? Secondly, I think of course the vanity that's there when it comes to people in front of the camera. There's a lot of vanity, and you have seen people change over a period of time when they started.
कुछ इसके बारे में.
When they started to how they are now.
I really want, and because I have seen this firsthand.
Yeah.
Not. I mean, I won't be able to tell about me. I mean, people around me will be able to tell me about me, whether I have changed after whatever happened. But I've seen people firsthand change.
Yeah.
After some things happened. After
I'll
vanity.
tell you again. I am serious people, so I'm going. My answers are going to have
Please,
some of that introspection.
थोड़ा सा मसाला चाहिए. Otherwise ना फिर वो audience बोलेगी अरे it's becoming too technical यार Deepak. What is this?
Okay, I will.
Feedback नहीं सुन रहे हो तुम integrate नहीं कर रहे, data integrate नहीं कर रहे. There are people who are telling me this. I'm like
audience insights. I get it too.
Yeah.
So that they don't drop off at this point.
Yeah, retention. You see, you understand all of this. That's my entire intent.
See,
You'll
I'll tell
get
you.
somebody from FilterCopy.
See, I'll tell you. There are multiple types of vanities. So I'll give you the masala first, and then I'll go into the thing. Okay. देखो, एक तो how I look type of vanity होती है, right? That is still manageable, but then it shows up on your web series sets where people want their gym trainer and their own मतलब your own keto food app या घर से खाना आ रहा है या etc. that that you have to bring on set for them, etc. And truth be told, like the bigger actors you work with, the more you have to deal with this stuff. The people who are homegrown, and we have a lot of homegrown talent, right?
Right.
With them little less, but वो भी start हो रहा है, right? The more successful people become,
I really want the entire homegrown talent to watch this podcast.
They know who they are, you know who you are. Okay, so एक तो वो है, right? That looks type of vanity. See, the second one is a distorted view of how much their time is worth, right? Cost, budget, right? It becomes very distorted very quickly, and they're constantly comparing themselves. See, there's a lot of insecurities, I think, for people who are in front of the camera that creep in. And again, I've learned to accept that it's inherent in that work. But
for sure,
the insecurities play out in many different ways, right? So see, as managers or even as well-wishers and friends, you are practical about advising somebody about their approach. But at the same time, you obviously want to embrace their vision for themselves.
Right.
But sometimes they are not willing to take the practical route. They will say no to a lot of roles. They will say no to a lot of things. And you're like, dude, matlab, I know that you only want lead roles right now. But agar main lead is an A-lister or aap second lead ho, that's really not a bad place for you to be. Or people will say ab hame short form nahi karna. And I truly believe audience insight se hame pata lagta hai, you have to be in front of the audience a lot nowadays, otherwise people forget you. Amir Khan doing one movie a year wala format only works for extremely few people
only
right now.
Only works when he's become Amir Khan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It does not work for in today's day and age for people who are rising कि आप एक या 2 शो ईयर में करोगे, अब तो मुझे सिर्फ फिल्म करना है, you know, don't undermine ये कंटेंट का जो व्हाट इज द राइट वर्ड, लाइक पीपल बिकम एलिटिस्ट कि फिल्म फिर सीरीज फिर यू नो शॉर्ट फॉर्म और फिर ब्रांडेड, you know, they become content elitist, and that is not how the audience is consuming right now. Audience consumes short form with as much love as they consume long form. It's just the patterns are different. So, and in fact, they're watching a lot more short form, right? Obviously, by definition.
Of course.
So, अगर आप कंटेंट से एलिटिस्ट हो जाओगे, जहां से आप ग्रो हुए हो उसको भूल जाओगे, इट्स अ स्टूपिड थिंग टू डू फॉर योर करियर. बट ये एक या तो इनसिक्योरिटी से आता है और फॉल्स सेंस ऑफ हाउ मच आई एम वर्थ. Oh, now my day rate is 3x. No, it's not. Like, your day rate is not 3x because guess who else I can get in that 3x wala money?
Makes
and
sense.
Then that like-to-like comparison just doesn't work. So I think that's my other like issue that I have, and
which is actually the case, and I've heard, I'm being a creator myself. I mean, we are very insecure in terms of the kind of work that we do. But I think because it's such an uncertain profession, even now.
Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from in terms of the value of time.
I am a advisor and manager of creators through say Cloud.
Right.
And we are also a producer.
Right.
So from both angles, I say that, you know, this, you have to know what is practical for your career, and we will get you there.
Right.
But you can't skip steps. It's not so easy. Sometimes skipping steps does happen maybe for a handful of people.
Correct.
But mostly like smell the coffee. If the world is telling you something, you know, accept it. Do good work. क्योंकि आप पूछोगे तो सब बोलेंगे I want to do good work. लेकिन that good work is only in film. ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता, right?
Correct.
So I think that's my other pet peeve.
Simple analogy would be, if you want to play for Team India, you got a net practice.
Exactly.
Simple. Like,
exactly.
let's just put
लेकिन
it that
कुछ
way.
लोग सोचते हैं अगर मैं रणजी के लिए प्ले कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे इंडिया टीम में कोई नहीं लेगा, अगर मैं IPL के लिए प्ले कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे यहाँ कोई नहीं लेगा, वहाँ like it doesn't
just
work
keep
that way.
improving on the craft, and if work shows, plus it's social, it's digital, so you would know. I'm assuming, I was reading something, I was one of your articles which said that the reason you cast Mithila Palkar in Little Things was because people were enjoying Mithila's screen time, and they were enjoying her online.
FilterCopy.
On FilterCopy. So, which is why you thought Mithila would be a great fit for the role, and that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So I think that wouldn't have happened if Mithila did not do more screen time.
Exactly.
Right? It only came about when she did a bunch of things.
Yeah.
On FilterCopy, on other sister channels, and that worked for her.
Correct.
Right?
And not only her, right?
I'm sure with a lot of people, yeah, I'm sure.
And you know, the thing is that elitism is also now translating to platforms. So certain platforms, कुछ भी हो आप हाँ बोल दोगे, and certain platforms आपको lead role मिल रहा है, फिर भी आप ना बोल दोगे. मतलब इतना, you know, I don't blame them because I think they are living in some bubble of perception. But at the end of the day, the most elite platforms today are the smallest in terms of size of subscriber base. And the massy platforms today are biggest. And at the end of the day, nothing more matters than how many people watched you and loved you.
Makes sense.
Right? So I think that elitism, you have to flip it and look it from the size of the audience, from the eyes of the audience.
You got to reverse engineer it, basically.
Absolutely. So I think these are my two least favorite thing about creators, but I honestly really, especially the influencer creators that, देखो actors की बात अलग है, influencer creators जो इतना सब खुद करते हैं यार, मतलब it's a very tough job, and comedy भी खुद, writing भी खुद, recording भी खुद, everything खुद, the discipline, content strategy भी खुद, and content strategy is a very difficult thing. So of course we advise them and we help them grow their distribution, and I think that I like that breed of creators because I feel that ये सब घिस के उनको समझ आता है कि कितना difficult है, and so they say no to fewer things, right? And so I like that breed of creators because in a way they are an actor, they are a producer, they are a strategy person, they are everything.
Like a one-man army.
फिर आपको brand जब देती है ना थोड़े पैसे, आप ये नहीं बोलते छी I don't want to associate with this brand. And in fact, you come up with like a very cool way to associate with that brand in your own style,
Yeah.
you know, which is very different. आप एक actor को दे दो तो वो same ही चीज करते हैं, जो भी आप बोल दोगे वो कर देंगे.
We've had creators on the show as well, and they've shared their stories about, you know, their fan moments and their, you know, stories where they've been followed till their houses, which is
It's insane to see the love. Like we have for all our shows, we do promotions in colleges and corporate parks and stuff. Colleges में इतना, it's like
story. कोई story सुना दो. कोई story सुना
अरे
दो.
कितने
Please.
stories हैं?
कुछ कोई
So,
कोई
for
एक.
example,
एक story
since
सुना दो. हाँ.
Operation MBBS, when we took to like medical colleges.
Right.
Actually, I'll tell you the story of adulting since you love
Please,
that
please,
show.
please, please.
Yeah, Shashwini, when she rapped in those colleges that we went to, the people went insane.
Yeah.
And you are like, you know, and sometimes you also feel ki, oh my God, like
Yeah.
how much is tab obviously people start believing
Right.
certain things about themselves when you see so much insane amount of love.
Right.
But it's just the most heartwarming thing, and that's when you feel ki you're doing something right or something good if so many thousands and thousands of people are loving your stuff. Lot of things. I'll tell you a funny story about Viraj.
Please, please.
तो
do.
अब तो विराज
एक तो
बहुत
I
popular
love
है.
him. एक तो I love him. I was
also love
doing an
him.
Instagram live with him, I think, during COVID. And मतलब I texted him saying, भाई, you know, Friday 2 बजे whatever live session है. And I texted him on Friday. Just a reminder किया, just a reminder, विराज अभी live होने वाला है. He's like, oh fuck, आज Friday already Friday हो गया. And I'm like, भाई आ जाओ यार.
Yeah.
Wait कर रहा हूँ, I'm live already. So
So he's been here.
He's not been here on the show
हाँ.
yet. But when we were doing Instagram live back during COVID,
Yeah, okay, got it.
that time we were like, and I was like, bro, Friday 2 baje hai, just a reminder.
He's really like, even his podcast, I don't know if you've heard
I
his
have,
Middle Class
Middle
wala
Class,
podcast.
yeah.
It's great, right? Like how much he's really expanding his,
Right.
he's taking his niche. He's embraced the Gujuness.
Right,
he's
right.
embraced the
And that
middle
works,
classness.
that works.
And it works, right? Because there are so many people who relate to that. And Abhi, London mein, when he did that entire
Meetup.
Hyde Park meetup, and Ashwin and him were there together at the match.
Yeah.
At the cricket
Yeah.
Champions League, right?
Yeah, World Test
Yeah,
Championship.
exactly that.
Yeah.
And like in the stadium, our friends were so surprised because people were coming up to Viraj and our friends were like, wow, like this is like next
Right,
level.
right.
तो विराज की मैं एक स्टोरी बताती हूँ.
बता.
हम लोग जा रहे थे नवरात्रि में to the Borivali wala ground,
Okay.
where now he's like a celeb and all.
Of course.
But he wasn't like a few years ago.
हाँ.
And we were walking, हम लोग ने गाड़ी पार्क करके walk कर रहे
एक
थे
तो
हम
his
लोग.
stories are crazy during Navratri.
Yeah,
like, when he
yeah.
shares.
But this is the time when he was just starting
Got
to
it,
become.
got it,
He
got
was
it.
still at FilterCopy. He had not
Okay.
fully gone out on his own and all that. And 4 of us were there. Viraj, Ashwin, me, and one of our friends, Pradipta. And we are walking, and you know, it's like when you're almost famous but not really, people
Yeah.
stare at you.
Yeah,
But they don't
yeah.
come up to you. Correct. They don't come up to you. Up to like they come up to you. Right? So it's great. Like you're on the cusp. Just about to break out.
Boy, how cocky of you. No, I'm not talking about myself.
So हम लोग जब walk कर रहे थे तो people were staring at him.
Yeah.
And he's so cute. And he's, what I love about him is that he is so real, right? Like he does
Yeah,
not
yeah.
hide
Raw.
and all
Yeah,
that. So after a lot of people staring at him, like I think he wanted people to come up to him,
Yeah.
but they were not coming up. And so he's like, हाँ मैं ही हूँ, FilterCopy विराज, मैं ही हूँ, आ जाओ. And he literally called them and then took a selfie. We died laughing.
Love it,
and
यार, विराज.
It's like, exactly, right? So
कैसे
I
करते
love
हो
that
भाई?
stuff, right? So which is so, and I think Dhruv has a similar story where he was at a bookstore with his mom, and again people were staring at Dhruv but they were not coming up. So his mom called them. Yeah, he's
Dhruv.
famous. He's famous. You want a picture with him? And Dhruv was like, wow, like because he's like the total opposite type of person. And this past weekend, RJ Karishma and Sean, who is one of our colleagues in Cloud, we bumped into each other at Infinity Mall Malad, okay? And she was wearing a mask. And I was like in the middle of shopping, so I was like, wow, yaar, you're like very careful about your health, like because it was a weekend, it was crowded. She's like, no, people will mob me. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Ki yes, of course, it's RJ Karishma, she's really popular.
Yeah, of
people
course,
will
of course.
mob her
Yeah,
in a mall.
Yeah.
And वो हमारे लिए तो even though I work with these people day in and day out. It's not the first thought that pops in my head. I was
true,
like, oh
true,
wow,
true.
like she's being so careful about her health.
True.
So yeah, I think it's a hugely growing. I think I would be very happy when we can prove that it can be a real career choice, a real safe career choice, because I do feel looks don't matter. Nothing matters where you start from, where you come from. I mean, Orange Juice Gang, right? One of my favorite set of creators, like Saurabh. We worked with him in Clutch, which is our esports drama web series. I don't know if you watched it.
I've not watched it yet.
Like, dude, when you see Saurabh and like Orange Juice Gang, like their face on Instagram billboards across the city, you really believe that anyone with a little bit of talent and a good amount of advice and strategy and discipline can get anywhere in today's day and age.
Right.
So I feel that अगर ये prove कर पाएं कि writing, creating esports real career choices बन सकते हैं ना, then I think we've played our part in the lives of youth of this country.
Amazing. I think we've had a pretty elongated discussion about like a bunch of things. The audience has got their masala and also a lot of value around media and the entire content ecosystem. Just a few rapid fire ऐसे fun questions and before we wrap up.
Which I'm very bad at, as you have seen.
There's no rapid fire here. We don't even have a segment. मतलब it's just very random. Yeah. What's the most expensive thing you own?
My car.
What's the most useless thing you own?
Useless.
Yeah. Now it's useless.
Bunch of clothes.
Are you a sneakerhead?
No, I'm not. Unfortunately, I am a shoe person, but not a sneakerhead.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not much into like branded type things either.
Got it.
So I just like good things of that give me value, and I use things a lot. So for me, the metric is cost per wear. So
got it. Okay. What is that one annoying habit about Ashwin?
So many.
One.
He thinks he's at the center of the universe.
Okay, wait. I have to stop you there. Ashwin, if you are watching, which I'm sure you will.
He has to watch this.
Yeah. My bad. He has to. When Aditi starts her answers with he thinks, just know that you have messed up.
And that I don't think so.
Okay, he thinks he's the center of the universe.
He thinks that he's at the center of the universe, that everything revolves around him. And he has a major superiority complex.
Oh.
Major.
Okay.
Sorry, Ashwin.
What's the one thing you like? Now you can make him happy. What's
Many
the one thing you like about?
He is... Actually, I'll tell you the one thing.
Only one thing. Fatafat.
He is extremely... He's just really nice to everybody around him, like to me, my family, my parents, like his family, friends. He's very caring. He keeps in touch. He goes out of the way. I find those things little hard to do. I'm very bad at keeping in touch. Like even with my best friends, phone calls are like once every couple of months and all. So I'm like that. So I think I really value, because he is really the opposite of that. He talks to my parents as much as I talk to my parents.
Oh,
like,
lovely.
He talks to his parents obviously also a lot. So I think he's very, very caring, and he's just a nice guy and very flexible, not at all insecure.
Not trying to cover up at all.
No, like I really feel ki, it's like the wind beneath your wings. Like I don't have to explain anything about what I do, where I go, how late I come, like literally I don't have to explain anything.
Sweet.
And that freedom is what I really value.
One word that comes to mind when you hear the word chai. Comfort. One word that comes to mind when you hear home.
Parents.
One word that comes to mind when you hear the word parents. Food?
Yaar, my mom's like ghar ka khana is like next level. So UP wale like are very much into our khana. I'm not a foodie, by the way. But few things that my mom makes, I can just die for and like eat every day if I didn't have to like.
Sweet, awesome. Thank you, Aditi. You can do the outro yourself facing this camera. कैसा लगा, क्या लगा, how was the episode? Just look at this camera and whatever your thoughts are.
What is the channel called?
The channel is called Deepak Pareek only, my
exactly.
name. And just subscribe करने बोल देना.
हाँ, वो इसीलिए पूछ रही थी. वो तो standard drill.
But कैसा लगा, क्या लगा, how was the experience? Were you expecting something? Did you get something else? What was it like?
Honestly, today is like a busy day for me because I'm traveling starting tomorrow. But I feel like this is the very fun, best start to my day. बहुत मजा आया. And हाँ, मतलब looks like we're friends now. Like I felt
lovely,
comfortable, fun, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it too, and it was not too little masala.
Also, I forgot to ask one question. When am I featuring in a FilterCopy video? When is that happening?
Any freaking time. Seriously, just come. लोग बोलेंगे अरे Dhruv look alike, great.
We should do a Dhruv and Dhruv and I should do a video. It'll be like a doppelganger video.
No, but
anyway.
Actually seriously anytime.
Yeah.
Please come. So I will set this up after we
Amazing.
So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it and keep watching and like, share, subscribe to Deepak's channel.
Amazing. Thank you so much guys. अगर आप अभी तक देख रहे हो, Mohit, don't laugh.
He's like, कोई नहीं देखा अभी
No,
तक.
he
सारे
knows,
लोग drop off हो
he
चुके
knows what's about to come because it's my fixed outro. अगर आप भी अभी तक देख रहे हो तो I'm assuming आपके पास भी जिंदगी में बहुत टाइम है और तो आप भी continue watching and like, share, subscribe as Aditi mentioned. See you guys in the next episode. Cheers. So wrap guys. Intro निच हाँ सिर्फ इंट्रो बट वी डोंट नीड द इंट्रो मतलब चलेगा बिना इंट्रो भी चलेगा.
We started with like bloopers only.
ब्लूपर्स कैसे स्टार्ट कर देंगे. हाँ we'll have like a coming up intro episode kind of thing और उसका हम पूरा वही चला देंगे ब्लूपर ही चला देंगे.
It's like it's rolling लेकिन आप एडिट करोगे ना.
हाँ वही वहाँ से स्टार्ट कर देंगे. कर दो.